Okay, awesome. Larry Tornese, thank you so much for joining us today for Sports Capstone class. Larry, as I mentioned, is an associate director with ESPN. Larry is an alum. He graduated. Let me guess. Let's see if I get this right. 2017, 18.
Yep, 17.
17. Okay, I was good. All right. So, Larry, we usually start first. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. Um, we usually start these off to kind of have you walk us through your journey, how you got to UF, what you did while you were here, and then walk us through how you got to the position that you're at currently today with the ESPN.
Yep, cool. Yeah, I'm Larry Tornese. I was born and raised in Oakland Park, which is kind of by Fort Lauderdale. Yeah, going into UF, I knew I couldn't get there straight out of high school. My test scores weren't nearly great. So I did the transfer student route and went to Broward College. And at Broward College, I knew that UF was, it's still not an easy school to get into, obviously, as you all know. So I tried to do internships. I tried to make the most out of community college, and especially Broward being such like a hotbed area for media. I know it doesn't seem like it, but it is. It is really. While I was at Broward College, I did a bunch of internships. I worked with a private production company called Red Hot Productions or Pepper Productions or something like that. I did Beacon TV, which is like the school board. They have their own production company in Davie, and also down the street with Beacon, I had a connection that hooked me up with the Dolphins, and worked with the Dolphins while they were at their practice facility in Davie. They had a in-house radio and TV show that aired on Fox Sports called The Finsiders. I was helping out with that, and yeah, I think with that, and I just tried to ace as many courses at good old Broward College, and got to UF. At UF, I just hit the ground running. I got my hands on literally anything and everything that I could get my hands on. I was doing master control at WFT. I made my way up to be a director at WFT. I did radio for a hot second, but then I couldn't pronounce anybody's name, so that was a fleeting dream. Yeah, no, I did that. I worked with the video collaboration services with their Zoom records for classrooms. I did a lot, and just whatever I could grab my hands on, I did it, which helped me out to, become, to go to Gator Vision. And at Gator Vision, I met a bunch of people, and they, hooked me up with to do SEC network games from site. At UF. So with that connection, I put it on my resume, and then eventually I got to the SEC network in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I did an internship there. And while I was there, again, building connections, I went back to UF, finished up my degree at during the summer, and thinking, I could either become a part-time AD in Charlotte, where I didn't really know the benefits of health benefits and all that stuff, and I was still on my parents', and I was like, what, let me just write it out. Did the local news route, went to Charleston, South Carolina. I was there for about a year, where a job opened up closer to home in West Palm at WPEC, and worked there for 3 years, and this opened up. Again, had a connection with the SEC network, and also here there at UF. Yeah, got a job here and been here for just about 2 years. Actually, 2 years yesterday. So it's kind of exciting. But yeah, I've been here for 2 years. I've been right now. I'm the lead AD for a show called Daily Wager, where it's on ESPN2 Wednesday through Sunday, 6 o'clock on ESPN2. And yeah, it's a gambling show. And but also with that, while you're on here, while you're over here, you do a variety of other shows, whether it's like wraps, where you're wrapping up the basketball game, the half and the post show. Today I'm doing NFL Live. I've been doing NFL Live for Mondays pretty consistently throughout the season, which is just great time. It's a lot of work because you're working with Monday Night Countdown on site, and it's just a lot of managing of a bunch of people. So, but yeah, no, it's been great. Very happy with my path, and it all led to here. So it's pretty great.
That's awesome, Larry. All right, so walk us through what a typical day, week looks like for you. I mean, how many days, a week do you go in? What do your hours look like? Obviously, it probably depends on the show that you're working on and all that kind of stuff, but walk us through a typical day and what you actually do, in the process of being an associate director and lead director.
Yep. So like you hit the nail on the head. It all depends on what show I'm working on for that day. Right. So they give you your days off, and for your days that you're on, it could literally be anything. So like my days off are Friday, Saturday. I work Sunday through Thursday. Sunday morning, I get in at 5:30, 5 a.m. It's a morning daily wager where it starts at 9 a.m. Where we preview the NFL games. And then afterwards, I'm just prepping for the next day or a couple days, whatever I feel like I need prep for. So yeah, Sunday I worked from 5 a.m. and today I got here at 9 a.m. Tomorrow I'll probably get in at 3 p.m. and I won't be leaving until about midnight probably. So the schedule is pretty crazy. Yeah, just like you said, depends on the day. What I'm doing actually as a associate director is I am straight up looking for like the frames, for where sources are coming from. I'm talking with game ADs who are on site, making sure that there's a communication with the show that I'm on and the site, if it's needed. So like for NFL Live today, we're doing hits with Lisa Saunders, Marcus Spears and Ryan Clark are going to be on site. So as a brief example, like I'll be talking with that AD all show long. I'm getting scenics. So like there's a server and I'm grabbing scenics of LA because they're out in LA today. So I'm just getting a bunch of beach stuff, SoFi shots. But it really does depend on the show for what your prep looks like. During show, what I'm doing is I'm just the second in command production wise for the production. So in video, when video is rolling, I'm counting down so we get these cut sheets. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm sorry. So we get these cut sheets, and every cut sheet has what the last shot is, what time the last shot occurs, and the out that the production assistant wants you to get out at, and what the freeze time is. And what that usually means is I have a timer. I hit every time the director says roll VO. I'm hitting the timer and I'm going 20 seconds. All right, 15. The out is a touchdown. 10, change coming. And then as soon as the change hits for the last shot, 3, 2, 1, freeze in 3, 2, 1. And then they got to get out. So I'm doing that in show. I'm doing all the pre-prod work, which means that like if there's a camera move to go into a monitor where we want a graphic, there's virtual elements that I could be doing. And I could send you some links of stuff that you got to clip off to send managers to make them happy that, hey, you're actually doing something. So yeah, no, it's all about that too. But yeah, no, in show, pre-production, you're counting out video, you're communicating with live talent. So like if there's a bunch of talent on TVUs, bureau cams, I'm queuing them up, making sure that they're ready to go. Half the time they're not. Yeah, no. So it's a bunch of all that. It's a smorgasbord of stuff during the show, and honestly, it feels at some points like you have 3 hands trying to key this person to talk to them to cue them. You're counting the director at a VO, and you're just it's a lot of stuff, and something could be on fire, and you have to call up like an IT person or something random like that. You are the second in command, and the director is steering the ship, and you are just trying to make sure that ship is still on course.
Very good. So like with the gambling shows, it seems like there are a lot more graphics that come into play. Is that true? Does that make
For
it
which show?
for the gambling shows?
Oh, yes. So we actually moved studios recently from Las Vegas to back to Bristol,
Yeah.
and I had a lot more, I guess, pre-prod work in Las Vegas just because we had more time. Over there, we had 3 hours of prep time. Over here, we have 2 hours. So while they were at Las Vegas, they would put a graphic in a monitor, and there would be another monitor like just to the left or to the right of it, and like depending on what it was, I would try to creatively try to like make it the most of what it could be. So like if it was a matchup between the Mets and the Marlins or something, I would try to get the pitching matchup, put it in the two verts, and then I would do like a move from the pitching matchup to the spread, let's just say. But yeah, it all depends. It all depends. Especially now that they're on this studio and we have less prep time. It's a smaller studio. I'm probably doing two of those moves a day as opposed to like eight when they were in Las Vegas.
So what the students really want to know is, how is it working at ESPN? Is it as glamorous as it seems to be? What about Bristol? How does a South Floridian survive in Bristol, Connecticut?
It it was an adjustment, not gonna lie. Um, it, there is a nightlife ish in New Haven and Hartford. Hartford is half an hour away. New Haven is 45 minutes, 40 minutes away. So there's that. You are close to New York and Boston ish, like, depending on where you live, it's about 2 hours each way. So there's stuff to do on the weekends. You just kind of have to drive there and or take the train to New York to get there. But there is stuff to do. Like right now, it's fall. It's gorgeous out. There's leaves falling. This is the second time besides being in Charleston. The second time I've experienced it. I was in Florida every other point of my life during fall. So it's different. It's not nearly as bad as people make it seem to be. Honestly, in my opinion, at least, if someone goes there, they can very much hate it. I don't know. But in my perspective, when it's cold, it's just straight up cold. It's like it could be 10 degrees. It could be, I've done a -5 degree. I've went out of -5 degrees. When it's cold, I'm layering up and I'm just, trying to survive, honestly. The big thing with me is driving in the snow. I have a Toyota Corolla, two-wheel drive. It's not great. I'm slipping and sliding. But the thing is, with ESPN at least, they put you up in hotels if there is a snow day, and if and the hotel is like right down the street. I live a half an hour away, so every time they offer it, I take it. Also, you get Hilton points too, so saving up.
Awesome. What are some of the advantages of working for a big company like Disney and ESPN?
One of the biggest perks for Disney, at least, is you get free Disney passes. I have my own card where I have to, you have to reserve it online. But I literally have my card and a guest card. Actually, I have three guest cards, but I can basically take whoever I want to Disney, as long as you just got to book it. And I think every half year, you get two passes that you can just give to people. So like, I mean, I've never been a Disney guy. I'm gonna be straight up honest. But like when my brother just graduated UF, I want to say in May. So flew into Fort Lauderdale, drove up with my family, went to the graduation. On the way back, I was like, you know what? Let's go to Disney for lunch. We literally went to Epcot just for lunch, spent 2 hours there. And because it was free, we didn't really care. So parking was free too. So you're like, all right, cool. Hi, Mickey. Hi, Goofy. Let's go back on the road, drive, what, 2, 3 hours back to Fort Lauderdale. That's really cool. But also just, Disney's a big company, like you said, and it's just, you feel secure. There's a big structure where you have a manager and the manager has that manager, and it's very corporate, which is, I didn't think I wanted when I was in local. But because it is, you just feel like there's some security there, which is nice. I know not a lot of people agree with that, but I don't know. Local's kind of a mess at sometimes. I should say.
What's the vibe like on campus there in Bristol? I mean, what we see obviously are from the commercials and all the goofiness that goes on there and that sort of stuff. But you see the cafeteria. I mean, what are the facilities like there? Give us a feel what it's like there on campus.
The cafeteria is great. I literally eat there whenever I have a morning show. I always get the same breakfast burrito, which is it's fantastic. They have a whole pizza oven. They have the works there. They have all these different stations. It's honestly nothing like I've ever seen before. Um, and they also have a barista there too, and a different like Starbucks thing like right on campus. It's great. Um, like but like honestly like you kind of just forget that it's there. I'm not like just like, oh yeah, we have a cafeteria, it's whatever, I can grab lunch or whatever, but like I don't feel like anyone's really hanging out in the cafeteria, if
Yeah.
that really makes sense. I mean, there's like seats and stuff, and but it's not like, I don't feel like it's the place to be. It is cool seeing like, I don't know, like I saw the other day, John Buchacross hanging out. You do see these cool, high profile people that you grew up watching. I saw Kevin Nagani the other day, and it's just, one story. I was walking out, and they were doing NHL raps, and PK Subban, I think his last name is. He was at the coffee station right as the exit was. I was walking and he was there, and he had on the coolest jacket I've ever seen in my life. It was like think of like British punk rock like vibes, where it's like all these like different like just random patterns and patches and stuff. And then in the center of it was a New Jersey Devils logo. And he was a New Jersey Devil. I'm not a New Jersey Devils fan at all. But I'm I guess a Panthers fan, but I didn't really care about hockey growing up. But anyway, I'm just staring at this jacket. I'm like, oh my God. He's like, yeah, it was really cool. It was really cool. But yeah, no, I mean, this is Sports Center commercials. They definitely paint it in like a more glamorous light, and not to say that it isn't glamorous. I mean, but still, in the end of the day, it is work. Everyone's still here doing a job, but like, it's not like you don't get starstruck walking corners every corner. You're like, oh, well, yeah, but you do take notice, but after a while, it does kind of fade a little bit. Not to say that it isn't great here.
Yeah. So you said you've been there for 2 years now. What's kind of the goal for you over the next few years and moving forward? Is it, a place you want to stick to and kind of move up the ladder, or is there something else on the radar for you?
Yeah, definitely sticking here. It is for ADs, the goal that every AD really does have is to be a director. And that's what I wanted to do since, I was sitting in that classroom right there. And the fact that I am, it's still a process. And especially as an 81, when you're an 82, you're getting more time in the front row instead of the middle row, in the control room. And the front row is where you want to be. And yeah, no, just trying to work hard to get to that front row. And you want to be the person in charge. I think everybody kind of, and especially at UF, everybody has those aspirations, or else you wouldn't be there. So you want to be in that front row, and that's what I'm working towards.
What does the work-life balance thing look like for you? Obviously, you mentioned that there's some places close by to be able to go out and visit and that sort of stuff. What do you do in your free time? How do you kind of take your mind off the job from time to time?
What I love and what I've always really loved was trivia. So I when Mothers was a thing over there, I think it was Wednesday nights. Every Wednesday night would be at Mothers watching, trying to win first place. So every Tuesday night over here, I go to New Park and do trivia there. I know it's like a stupid little thing, but it's just one of those things where you're there and you're not thinking of anything else besides that question. It's pretty great. Um, what else? Like, there's I don't know. There's like I have a girlfriend, and she's a local, and she takes me to these different places, and
Yeah.
we go to there's a Mystic Aquarium. I don't know. But there is stuff to
Oh, we lost your audio.
like, oh shoot.
There we go.
Wasn't kind of expecting that question so
Yeah,
much.
yeah. What about other gators up there? What other gators have you run into up there and that you know?
There's a lot of gators.
Yeah.
Literally, God, there's two other directors, or there's two directors. Um, three ADs? Well, two now. No, three. Yeah. Three other ADs. I have, so we all get these ESPN backpacks, and like I have like a gator thing on my backpack just to differentiate, just in case I put it somewhere and I know that's my backpack. I'm getting Go Gators like when I'm walking through the halls. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, no, there's a lot of gators up here, which is great for connections, and especially if there's someone like up the ladder, um, you could very easily make that initial, hey, go Gators, I'm a Gator too, and you just start that initial conversation, and boom, you have a connection there. Um, yeah, no, it's a good conversation starter,
Yeah.
which is great. It's any leg up that you can have to making a connection is worthwhile.
That's good. I got a couple more questions to wrap up, but I want to give the students an opportunity to ask some questions
Okay.
if they had
Okay.
any. Anyone? Yeah, Brandon.
Hey Larry, how's it going? I was just kind of curious because I know you said a small part of your job is, dealing with that live talent for some of the shows. I was curious, especially with a place like ESPN where you have a lot of athletes that go on the shows. Do you ever approach an athlete that goes on for live, kind of different, like compared to like a sports analyst or a journalist who might have some experience?
I didn't hear a
That's
word.
okay. That's okay. I got you. So he's asking about when athletes come on the shows. Do you approach them differently than you would than like an analyst or a sports journalist?
No. It depends on what their what their experience level is, or if the producer gives me a heads up. Like, there we have a lot of newspaper writers, ironically, on Daily Wager that come on and they haven't done TV before, and you're getting that heads up. Hey, here's David Purnam. I was on his first day. He's like a gambling writer. The producer was like, "Hey, heads up, David has never been on TV before. He probably won't know how to operate the camera. He will probably won't know how to operate like the Zoom returns. So we have returns for our live talent is all through Zoom. We put program in a Zoom, and everyone just joins the Zoom. So it all depends on what their level is, how much babysitting I'm doing, and also I guess how much to the producer wants to be involved. My main thing when I'm checking in live talent is I am making sure their shot looks good. I'm making sure if they want return that they got return. I'm making sure that they can hear the show, and then I'm out. Like I'm not getting involved. I'm not I'm trying to stay out of their ear as much as possible so they can focus on the show itself. I know they don't care about me. I know they're not dying to hear, oh my God, I'm a huge fan, and I know that it's not about me, and I'm just bailing out so they can focus on what they're there to do. And so I try to knock it out quickly, and then I let them know, hey, talent's good to talk to, whoever. But it is still cool at some time. I talked to Lindsey Vaughn one time, and it was like, whoa, this is Lindsey freaking Vaughn. Yeah, so it's but you want to be professional with whoever you have on, no matter. And like I said, just matters on how experienced they are and how much help they need. Because primarily, when something does go wrong and things do go wrong, everyone's looking at you. They're like, Larry, what happened? Fix this. I'm like, okay, I'll try. I'm counting video and I'm talking to this guy, and now I have to call up transmission and say, hey, what happened to their shot? It's a lot, but yeah, you just got to be professional with whoever you have.
Gotcha. Other questions? Anyone? Yeah, Nick.
I think you just mentioned stuff that has gone wrong. I would say, what's like the most like a recent example or like the craziest example of something that's gone wrong?
The craziest example of something that's gone wrong.
Oh man. You want my career or at ESPN? Because
Both. How about both?
oh, okay. In my career, so at I think it was West Palm. Yeah, it was West Palm. Master Control had us on the air, and we had no idea that we were on the air. So literally, we're framing up shots. The talent is talking, la di da, and like, oh, curl my hair on set, yeah, whatever. And we were on the air. It was awful. I mean, it wasn't my fault, but it still happened under my watch, and it's something that your heart sinks. You feel like crap, and it's awful. But the next day you just gotta wake up and do it again. ESPN wise, okay. This didn't make it to air, but it was pretty bad. Just this past week, actually. I'll give you a recent example. So we do a lot of FaceTimes for guests, and one guy was doing a FaceTime from the Phillies game. I think it was a sports writer. I don't remember who even it was. But he was doing a FaceTime from the Phillies game, and we couldn't figure out the video operator couldn't figure out how to make it full screen and lose that top FaceTime meeting bar.
Yeah.
And so she's trying to figure it out, and I'm just seeing her click everywhere, and I'm like, hey, heads up, we have that thing that we still need to get off. And she hung up on the guy, and the guy is coming up in literally a minute. That was one of those where I was like, I just froze up, and everyone again looking at me, and I'm like, I did not tell her to do that. I don't know what you want from me, but I did not tell her to do that. So yeah, there's that. That was a recent example, but we got him. He's still trying to check in right before he got on the air, but yeah, that happened. I guess that's not really something wrong that happened on the air, but I guess I could try to figure out something. I'll email you, Eric, a better example.
No, that was good. That was good. All right. So as we kind of wrap up here, obviously this class is full of students that are getting ready to head out into the real world, either this December or next April. What kind of advice do you have for the students? Maybe something that helped you along the way when you were, pursuing your career, going through the interview process, making network connections, those sorts of things. What kind of advice would you give the students?
Still continue doing anything that you could.
Yeah.
Sign up for that random thing that you're like, you know what? I don't know if this would help me. If you're even considering it, and if you have time to do it, I would totally do it. There are so many people at UF, especially, that haven't, signed up for just literally a million things that you guys can sign up for. And there's so many of my friends too, are just oh yeah, I'm not doing that, or I'm not, they're literally not doing anything outside of their curriculum. And if you're wasting that opportunity, I just don't know what you're doing. Definitely sign up and touch things, record it, keep it with you, and use it for those interviews. And if you do have an interview lined up with somebody, send off clips. People, especially at ESPN, they love when you send off examples of your work, no matter how it is. There's this AD. He's kind of famous on LinkedIn, but what he does is he just records himself doing his job, and people love it. He it's crazy. So if you record yourself doing your job, whether it be directing at WFT or doing a radio hit, if you record yourself doing whatever and you send examples, people love that. And I guess another piece of advice is when you do the interview process, ask the interviewer questions about themselves. People love talking about themselves, especially people in high-powered positions. They want to talk to you and try to they want to basically help sculpt you too. So whenever I talk to managers, I'm always like, hey, I've approached this problem. Have you had a similar problem like this in the past? If so, how did you go about it? How did you fix it? Or like, hey, if you're interviewing with an ESPN director, for example, what type of shows have you done? What was the craziest moment? Like, basically interview the interviewer and they will perk up and be really happy about it. But obviously don't do it too much, because then you're flipping the script, and yeah, that's not good. But yeah, to an extent.
All right. Awesome. Larry, we really appreciate your time today. Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day, great rest of your week, and keep in touch, man. Okay.
Of course. And if you guys want to reach out on LinkedIn or anything like that, if you have any other questions that I couldn't hear, yeah, don't be afraid to connect. I'm pretty easygoing, obviously, and yeah, just willing to help. Willing to help.
All right. Thanks so much, Larry. Take care.
Alrighty, guys, go Gators.
All right. Bye-bye. Go Gators.
How come this thing's not hanging?